this video talks about lesson 10.4, which is on zero and negative exponents. So we haven't seen that yet. We haven't seen a scenario where you have a number that is raised to the zero power or a number that is raised to a negative exponent. So real quick, just to kind of go over what zero exponents and negative exponents look like. If we have zero exponents, it's pretty simple. If you have, for example, 5 to the power of 0, if you put this in a calculator, you will receive the same answer, but it's also good to just have this known in your brain, one of those things that you need to memorize. But anything to the power of 0 equals 1. Okay? So any number to the power of 0, so the algebra form of it we'll just say is a to the power of 0. If you have an x to the power of 0, z to the power of 0, anything to the power of 0 equals 1 as long as the number here, as long as the base does not equal 0. Because 0 to the power of 0 is actually undefined. Okay? So any number that is not 0 raised to the power of 0 is 1. Negative exponents, there's going to be 2 lessons on this because the negative exponents can get tricky. Okay, negative exponents. So for example, say I have 3 to the power of negative 4. You do not want your answers to have negative exponents. So you need to turn it into a positive exponent. And how you can do that is you take the reciprocal of the base and the exponent. Okay, so if you don't remember what reciprocal means you flip it. Okay, so if I have a base, my base is 3. The reciprocal of 3, think about what 3 is as a fraction. Okay, 3 as a fraction is 3 over 1. I'm going to write this as, let's go down with the negative 4. Okay, so 3 to the power of negative 4 is the same thing as saying 3 to the power of negative 4 over 1. Take the reciprocal, why is it not writing now? Which means I'm going to flip it, and flipping it changes that negative exponent to a positive exponent. So now I'm going to have 3 to the positive 4th power. Okay, so this is going to take some practice because I know you're probably thinking to yourself like, what the heck just happened? Anytime you see a number with a negative exponent, just know that you are going to flip it and make that exponent positive. It's the same exponent, but you're going to keep it positive. Okay, so let's do some examples. Alright, so let's do 4 to the power of negative 2. So I want to evaluate this expression. And if you remember, evaluate means you're actually solving. Okay, so you want to solve this. So 4 to the power of negative 2 is going to be the same thing as 4 to the power of negative 2 over 1. I'm going to flip it and get 1 over 4 to the power of positive 2. 4 squared is 16. So my answer is 1/16. 4 to the power of negative 2 equals 1/16. Okay, let's try another one. I have negative 8.5 to the power of negative 4 times negative 8.5 to the power of 4. Okay, the parentheses are important here if you remember from the previous lessons, because if I have a number in parentheses, that means this whole number, the negative 8.5, is multiplied by itself that many times. If I did not have parentheses around here, that means just 8.5 would be multiplied by itself however many times the exponent states, and then you would add the negative at the end. Okay, so it's very important if you see the problem showing the parentheses that you keep the parentheses, because it does change the answer and ultimately. Okay, so now we're going to use what we've learned from the previous lessons. We know that I'm multiplying two numbers with exponents that have the same base. So what do we do when we multiply exponents with the same base? We add them. So that's going to be negative 8.5. You always do the first one as your first number. So negative 4 plus 4. Okay, so that's going to leave me with parentheses, negative 8.5. Negative 4 plus 4 is 0. So what is negative 8.5 to the power of 0? If we remember from this page, anything to the power of 0 that is not 0 is 1. So my answer is 1. Okay, how about 2 to the power of 6 divided by 2 to the power of 8? Okay, here I'm dividing exponents with the same base. So remember, we subtract. You always take the numerator exponent first minus the denominator exponent. So it's 2 to the power of 6 minus 8, which equals 2 to the power of 6 minus 8 is negative 2. I cannot leave my answer as a negative exponent. So now I have to flip it. 2 to the power of negative 2 is the same thing as 1 over 2 squared, which is going to equal 1/4. All right. Again, if you need additional help, reach out to me. Please don't try to do them and get them all wrong. If something is not working out, you can't figure out where you're going wrong, please send an email or a message. Thank you.